What's going on, YouTube? I'm John, and I wanted to share with you my number one tip in order to tailor make your resume. That's right. This is what is going to help differentiate you from the stack of people who do not do this. And I can't tell you how many people do not do this. It's really annoying. I'm a recruiter. I'm looking at resumes all the time. I've also been someone who has figured this out and been able to write resumes so that I can at least get my foot in the door. I may not have gotten the job, but I've gotten into having an interview, and that's what you really want to do. You want to get to the next step. I don't know if you remember when you were in school, you wanted to learn what the teacher was expecting of you so you could provide that. And so the way that we do that is one, on a broader spectrum, industry specific, and then we get more narrow company specific as well as role specific. So you want to tailor your resume specifically for the role that you are applying for. So I'm going to do my best to share with you some of my ways of being able to do that, and then also helping to help you expedite that process so that you can grow and scale your time and make the best use of your time, right? Nobody wants to sit there just completely writing a brand new resume. So I'm going to have a tip for you on that on the tail end. So tailor making your resume. First thing, your objective. You want to get that role at this company, period. That's what you want. And if you don't apply to that role. Simple as that. Now, if it's a generic role, if it's something like that, then I get it. You're trying to let them know that you're keeping your options open and they're not the only people. Whatever it is you're trying to do to not be specific in your objective, be specific in your objective, especially when you're applying to that company. Right? If you're just throwing up your resume on somewhere for people to look at, it makes sense for it to be a little bit more generic. But if you are going in, applying, or sending in your resume, make it as much as possible specific to that company. Hands down, it's going to make people want to look at your resume because you're interested in working for their company. Okay, now that's going to help insight us into another way that you could help write a cover letter, right? You want to show that you've looked into the company, but that's for another portion. So you have your objective. Next, what you want to do is you want to tailor make your experience to correlate with the job description. What do I mean by that? Is that you look at the job description and you read, yeah, you know what? That's me. Then you show in your resume that it's you. Simple as that. Now, if you're like me and you think, what did I even do? I feel like I just spent time typing, or I just spent time talking to people, or I just spent time cleaning cars, whatever. Like, I don't think that I was super beneficial. But at the same time, you interacted with customers. You dealt with money. There was other things and different technologies and driving and all these other things that you did that you may not think are originally valuable, but are maybe transferable to these roles. So with that, what you want to do is you want to look at the job description and help it color and remind you of the experience you have. Now, I do want to say, do not lie on your resume. You do not want to do that. That is not something I am condoning or anything I am encouraging you to do. You do not want to do that. What you want to do is just have these things, this job description, inform you that what they're looking for that you've done is valuable. So if it says, yeah, we want someone who can lift 50 pounds, just let them know, yeah, I've lifted 50 pounds. And side note, I've lifted 50 pounds in the gym, easy peas. I don't know, whatever it is, if that's a requirement of the job. If it's, typing this many words, or if it's having experience with this software, you want to make sure you have that in your specific experience. With that, use the job description as your guideline, right? Now, if the job description is explaining something that you don't really have experience in, then maybe you shouldn't be applying for that role, if that makes sense. And I know that I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. Maybe you want to get into a different industry, and I completely get it. I completely understand. I knew that's really tough. If you want to get into a completely different industry, you can try to do that. Depending upon where you're at, that's a little bit of a different kind of situation. But let's say that you still are looking for similar type roles. What you want to do is, like I said, make sure you are using their words in order to describe you. That's going to help you be seen. I'm going to tell you right now, this is what hiring managers, this is what recruiters do when they see resumes, is they see if you are a fit for the role. It doesn't, just even having the buzzwords in there in a specific place doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, for some reason, I think people tell them that it's really good to have that, but unless it says it in your experience, it's not gonna help you as much. You want them to be specific to show that you have that experience. I can't drive that point home enough. Now, let's say that you had an off year and you did something else and you were trying to make a shift and you ended up going back into what you're doing, or let's say you had a gap where you were doing something else. You can always notate the other experience that you have, but if it's not pertaining to the current position that you're applying for, simply just say, I worked here for 6 months and this is what I did. One bullet point. You do not want to highlight that experience. That's not the experience you're trying to highlight. Now, this is a good segue, because if you do have something like that, you can include that in something like your cover letter, right? So, for example, hiring manager might say, you know what, this person has decent level of experience. I'm not too sure if I'm wanting to move forward with them. But if you have a reasoning in your cover letter, hey, I wanted to address up front why this happened, what have you, why I did this role, then I decided that I really wanted to get back into this industry. And when I realized that I wanted to work for XYZ, when I realized that I wanted to get back into this field, then I realized that I really wanted to work for XYZ. And then you go into XYZ. What does XYZ do? Why do you want to work for XYZ? What does it look like on the outside? What do you know about XYZ? And then you can color in why you want to work there, and hopefully you're waiting to hear a call back. Something like that, right? Because they have your experience, all that stuff. They'll be able to tell if you are a good fit. You don't need to completely explain why you're a good fit. Let your resume speak for you on that. So, cool. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything on a tailor-made resume. Objective, using the job description to use to highlight the experience that you do have to show that you're a good fit for the role. And then also a cover letter. Doesn't need to be long, short as possible, either explaining gaps or your interest in the company. Those are definitely icings on the cake. They're not fully necessary, but they can help be I think a bridge if you have if you have cases where you might have moved around or anything like that. So, okay. Now, the last tip that I wanted to give is expediting your resume submission process. And so I would encourage you to research by job title and applying to those job titles maybe on a per day, or if there's enough, per weekly basis. So that means, let's say on Monday or even on the weekend, what you want to do is you want to see what kind of position you're looking for, and you create a resume template that is something that you can work off of. And you might have to change a line here or there. You have to change the company name, but you're still being tailor-made and specific. You're also highlighting your experience. A lot of the time they use the same terminology, but they might use a different word that you want to use. So you want to do that. You want to create some sort of template that allows you to do that, to apply to these different roles that will highlight your experience and show that you want to work at this specific company. So creating that resume template for that job helps you to do that, helps you to expedite that. So for each role that you do, I mean, I know it's an extra step and it seems like, John, I don't want to do that. That's not like something I want to do. I kind of just want a job. I'm kind of done with it. I know how that is. But the reality is that if you can tailor make even 20 of your resumes, I'm telling you, more people are going to want to get in touch with you. More people are going to want to do that. So instead of just creating this broad, generic resume, people aren't interested in that. They're not going to respond to that. It's going to be way better for you to have 25 targeted resumes, specific resumes for roles that you actually want, than it is for broad spectrum 100 jobs that you have a general resume that it's going to take this person time to figure out if you actually have the experience. So unless they're super desperate to want to hire somebody and they have to read between the lines, what you really want to do is make this easy for people who are in charge of the hiring. They want to just quickly know, move your profile over, gets you in the door. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want to get into the door to see the hiring manager. So I hope you found this helpful. If this was a benefit to you at all, if you found this valuable, please subscribe to my channel. This is definitely a channel that's going to be helping people with their purpose and calling, vocation, business, whatever it is. I want to be able to help assist you with that. So let me know if you want me to share about any tips that I have or any research that I could do. I love doing research. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll do everything that I can to try to help create something that would benefit you more. But if this did benefit you, subscribe, smash the like button, as everybody likes to say. I hope this was beneficial to you. Talk to you later. Bye.